All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this awesome planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And as always, we're definitely happy and grateful for all of you being here with us this morning as we look to close out the week and take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what's out there for us to take advantage of. So without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions. Grab a pen and paper, take lots and lots of notes, and let's make sure that we do an amazing job of participating and engaging. So right out the gate, if everybody can hear me loud and clear, do me a huge favor, drop me a one in the chat. Let me know you're ready to go, and we can get this session going. Marshall, good morning. We got a hand raised. Question?
Sorry, that was a mistake. I was trying to send you a one.
Oh, all good. Appreciate it. I'll take it. All right. So, all right, let's jump out of here. Ryan, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, bro. I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Great. It's Friday.
It's Friday, man.
It's Friday. And that means Thanksgiving is next week, which I'm always happy around Thanksgiving. A lot of food and football.
Yeah,
So
man.
yeah.
Good
But I
time.
got more work coming up. Last week I was raking leaves. And this week I'm gonna be raking leaves too on the weekend because all my neighbors' leaves is blown into my yard. So we know
I'm
how
glad I
that
ain't got
goes.
trees.
The leaves don't care about those imaginary lines. So
They do not.
yeah, so I'll be right back out there. But I hope everybody has had an awesome week. And I hope everybody is looking forward to the weekend, right? This also marks, the countdown, Mr. Carthage, to the Ohio State Michigan matchup coming up in another week or so, the big showdown. So all types of good things going on around this time of year for me. So I am ready to go. So enough of that. Let's talk about the fundamentals. UK retail sales unexpectedly fall, right? So we put some notes in the Discord on that to summarize some of the articles that we've been reading. So UK sales fell by 0.3% in October, following a 1.1% decrease in September, and falling short of the market consensus of 0.3% growth. So trade declined for a second consecutive period with a 2% fall in fuel sales, leading the decrease. Receipts in both food and non-food stores were down 0.3%, 0.2%, respectively, right? So here in the United States, retail sales held up a bit, not so much in the UK. So we'll see how that plays out. U.S. 10-year Treasury note yield falls below 4.4%. And as a result, right, if we click over, we take a look at that DXY, we've got more bearishness coming out of that dollar as a result. So we got yields declining back below 4.4%. So we can see how the day has started with the dollar. We'll see what happens at the US market open. So if we come down to the 4-hour here on this DXY, you can see how it just continues to move to the downside. Got to pull back, and now we're moving lower to retest some lows. So that's always important to take a look at those bond yields. And then you can see here that the dollar set for a sharp weekly drop. And oil heads for a fourth straight weekly fall. We actually posted some things in the Discord in regards to that as well. So what else do we have for today? I know it got light towards the end of the week. So that was the biggest thing for today was the UK retail sales number that came out. That's our only red folder first part of the morning, and that is it, right? Until we go into Monday. We got Lagarde speaking today. Not sure what that's about. I have to follow up on that. So we FOMC at 9:45, we got Goolsby speaking. So that might be interesting coming out of the FOMC and the ECB. So we'll see if we can catch up to some articles later in regards to those members speaking. Any questions on the fundamentals?
No.
Awesome, Marshall, just like snow. Joy over the wind, over the wind that helps him. Yeah, man, it's a mess. And my neighbors got these little small leaves too. They're like, I don't know what the tree is, what it is, but it's too big, huge. The trees are enormous and the leaves are very small. So it's terrible out there. So I was looking at all green grass last weekend after I raked up leaves. Now I can't even see the grass. So it's a lot. But I'll be using the blower and my kids will be using the rakes. So I've elevated myself. So we'll get it done. But all right. So let's move into these charts. So we looked at the DXY. Any questions on the dollar right now? Right. We've got a declining dollar. No questions?
No, sir.
All right, that's pretty clear cut. We've got a bearish week. So for the DXY, which we kind of we know when we saw that that's why that inflation number was so important. Why? Because it signaled the fact that it's just evidence that the Fed may hold off, right? Pause the rates in November and most likely going to pause in December, right? Okay, and that's what investors are looking for. So let's jump into take a look at review some of the pairs that we've been following, and then look at a couple of new setups. So we'll start at the top. We'll take a look at this Aussie. Well, let me go to the Aussie CAD. Go to Aussie CAD because my computer's running so slow. What's going on? Take a look at this Aussie CAD because it's already running, but Reese has spotted I believe, if I'm not mistaken, has spotted the Aussie CAD, but it was a 1 minute play, right? So I'm imagining that went well. So let me go down to the 1 minute just so we could take a quick review of his setup. Oh yeah, that one's moving. All right, so let's just run a scan, see what we get. All right, how'd you this is a little bit different. Take a look at what you got on here, Reese. Check some things out, because I imagine that it went well from wherever you took it from and spotted it, because it's moving to the downside and you were calling for a short. Let's see what we got going on. Should be taken out. Should be running off this low. What in the world?
Yeah.
Reese, how'd you run that fit?
Oh, it said it hit the D extension, then drop.
Oh, I see. Okay. So I'm seeing what's current now. Dang, man. So almost. But I mean, if you were playing a trend line break, you never got one though. You never got one. So I know you like to use the confirmations and trend line breaks and things like that sometimes. So so I see what happened. It kept running on you, and then it came down. I was like, I know it can't be that far off from where you had it. Okay. So this was the original move here, your original 80-20 zone here, and it just ran and hit the stop on you. That's all right. The idea was right, just a little early. Can't call that one. But I like the idea nonetheless. Now we're getting short, right? And how we talk about that alternating correction, right? How oftentimes if you have a fib where, the buyers just take control at that 236 and it pushes to that D extension, oftentimes that very next fib, you'll get a pretty large correction. And that's what we're seeing now. So just a little bit early, but it's all good. I like the idea. That's what it's all about. But we'll take a look at it from the higher time frame perspective. It did turn over out of that let me just delete that. So I moved it. It did turn over, out of that 80-20 zone, right out of the middle of that zone to TP1. That was a previous move. So we did get some good price action you know, from a little bit of a higher time frame on the 30-minute chart. So that came down and tagged TP1. So that's that. Appreciate you posting that, Reese. Keep posting those, everybody. Keep posting them. Post what you see, right? Repetition is the mother of all skill. So let's take a look at the Aussie yen. That's the first one that I had on my list. Yeah, they appreciate it. Seeing it clear and clear every day. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And once you see it, then it's just having confidence, you know, to go ahead and take the trade, take the position. Aussie yen was on a few different time frames, but on the one, we can see that we're through TP1, right? So you got a 122 pip move there on TP1. So while the week got all kind of slow, because of everybody was waiting on CPI data and things like that, you know, a lot of times the market will just drag along until after major data comes out. And then, you know, so then you can see how things got going towards the end of the week for us. So another decent week, slow out of the gate. But now we can see that the price actually moved pretty well after midweek. So any questions on this Aussie yen? Right. That's a clean play. Then you got an ABCD wave, which is probably 80-20 right there. But yep. So it's in that zone. We're not gonna make that play. But you can see how we pushed up to that 236. You guys see how that pushed and broke that B boundary, and you can see where we've got a bit of a reaction going on there. If we it's already, I say, dropped down to the lower time frame, but what looked like a small move on a higher time frame has already made a decent pullback there. So now it's just a matter of if that wants to continue long on this correction, right? So just moving down. So what is this? It may continue to push down, but I'm not gonna play this. This is where it's sitting, but I just follow it though. So that would be that 382 target off that sub fib. And that's what it looks like on the 5. So this is the this is our 1 hour 38.2. Sub fib. So I'll be interested in to see if we get a deep correction and then a move back up. See if it wants to respect that 80-20 on that sub fib on a higher time frame. Right. Like that. Boom. All right. But the moral of the story on this Aussie yen is that we did get TP1, so that was a nice move for us. Any questions on the Aussie yen?
No, sir.
All right. Let's take a look at that CAD yen move that we were tracking from yesterday. That has made really good progress for us. And we were looking at it from the 1 hour, and we can see that since yesterday, right? That's our 80-20 zone. You've got a monthly resistance level there in black at 110.52, and we can see that totally collapsed. Right? So that's your 80-20. So out of that zone, right? And we didn't even get a ton of drawdown on that. But to your TP1, okay, it was 100 pips and about 132 to TP2, right? So really nice move, nice correction. That's a good day at the office. right? When you get moves like that. All right. So any questions on the cat in? Is anybody able to take advantage of that trade?
Yes, sir.
Yep. You missed it. Sure, you missed it. All right, it's all right. Like we always say, it's another one just around the corner, right? We just have to be patient. Okay. Reese, ASEAN by 30 minutes. Oh, fit from the top. Yep. So we see it on the one. Let's go back and take a look at it and see what it looks like on the 30-minute. We looked at it on the one, then we dropped down to the 5 for a potential pullback, and then a continuation. So let's see what we've got on the 30. All right, there we go, right here. So let me just, it's weird, I just got this running off the smart fit. Let me see if I can get that. I think it's not, yeah, it's not respecting that wick. So I see what they're doing. Okay, so let me take this off and clean it up a little bit. So same concept, another look, right? This one's actually sitting in that zone. Let me move some of these TPs around. There. Okay. There, right? Okay. So you can see how it dropped in that zone and we got that reaction. So you either put your stop at that extension or below the swing low prior to the trend line break in this example. Okay. Just like that. Okay. All right. So we've got time. Okay. Yes, you can get more aggressive and draw the inner trend line and be involved, but get an inner trend line involved like this. But we got time, we can wait. Okay. So here's this low. Okay. And so that kind of plays into what we're seeing on the 5-minute chart. Okay. This is the low. Okay, right here. That's represented on that 30-minute. So what we want to see is, can we get this to pull back into our sweet spot? And if it does, then you can use additional confirmation if you want. Draw at that point. If it moves into our sweet spot, you draw your trend line and see if you get a break, see if it wants to carry the rest of the way. All right. So that's that. Appreciate it, Reese. So the CAD, we went through. Another big play that we were looking at yesterday was the Swiss yen. And we were looking at it from the 4. We'll look at it from the 1, 2. But you can see, right, where we're pretty high, right? When you look at the daily, there was that previous high. I mean, and this moved even higher. Let me move out to the weekly and the monthly to take a look at this. Okay. Okay. So that was the prior major high. Look at that. It broke it. So we at least, is it going to come back down and retest this level again? Or are we going to see some declines? Or see a decline in that. So if we come to the 4, okay, you can see where it's turned over. We're looking at this yesterday, and you can see where it hit our 80-20 zone and reversed and it broke trend line. It's textbook there. That's pretty clean. Okay. It's a beautiful reversal. So if we move down we could take a look at it from the 1 hour coming out of the zone. That's already, here's that reversal on the 1. So we're down 214 pips. Right. And we could have some room, some more room to go to the downside. So if we break this next trend line, right, our outer trend line, then we can say, hey, maybe we're going to that long-term trend line, or at least come back to retest this 166.40, which was the previous major high. Any questions on the switch yen? That's a good play. All right, no questions?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. So let's jump into the euros. I want to take a look at this euro yen. Which is finally starting to turn over. Okay. All right, so this is the larger play on the 4. We pushed up, right? We had drawdown out of the 80-20 zone, but now we're right back in the game. We broke the inner and outer trend line, right? Maybe headed towards our long-term trend line. That's a big move. I expect it to take some time if we're going to get it. But hey, patience pays. Patience pays. So if you're in at that 80-20 zone, you're slightly in profit now. If you held it through the drawdown, it's good work, right? Didn't hit the stop, and now it's moving short. So the question becomes, as it's moving, right, for those smaller setups, those 80-20s, because we've got a huge impulse leg here, moving to the downside. So let me get this out because it came right into that zone. So in some of our lower time frames, we may start to have the opportunities for those pullbacks, right? Where we get those corrections. So if I run this off the high, we don't have it yet, right? You can see how it just hit that D extension. And now we're trying to put in a low here, okay? So then you just continue to work your way down through the charts to see if you have anything yet. So let's pull out our scan here, right? That gave us an AB boundary. Okay, so we may be in a situation where we're ready to pull back. Not an 80-20 though, okay? Where you can make a smaller play off of that. 15-minute. Right? So we're looking for pullbacks and probably further continuations down, right? Those lows they're starting to put in lows here. Then we look at our 5. So we're starting to get that pullback. So they're all swinging off that B boundary right now. So we look for pullbacks to high prices and continuations down, like so, right? Do we see a pullback and then a move down? Questions on the euro yen? It's moving nicely.
Hey, bro, just a bit of confluence here. Weekly time frame, price pushed into that 118, 127 zone, and on the daily time frame, it also pushed into that 118, 127 zone.
Too, right?
So you got 80-20s all the way down, and the D extension hit on the monthly.
Oh, we got a D extension on the monthly that got hit.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I like it. All right. And we had this box highlighted, right? Because you've been tracking this one for a while. To see if it pushes into that zone and we get a reaction. So you were spot on that daily, at that daily level and that weekly level. So let's see if we can get pullbacks and further declines on the euro yen. Thanks, Ryan.
Yep. Also, what might cause a pullback here, the finance minister in Japan in an interview, he said intervention won't be aimed at addressing a specific price level. So they won't step in to intervene at any point when
Oh,
the
wow.
price is too high.
Mhm.
They only will step in with excessive volatility. So they have no plans of intervening in anything. So we could see a slight pullback there that could cause that as the market opens and then give us that continuation to the downside.
Got it. Got it. I like that. Right. So no plans to intervene. Wow. We'll see how it goes. See how it goes. All right. So that's the euro yen. That one's moving in our favor right now, right? Euro NZD. Let's take a look at that. That setup. That was one that we spotted this morning. Well, we're just making a move, right? So this is just a quick one we posted, and it's since broke trend line and moved into the upside there. Right. So we'll continue to track the movement on that. So we posted that one. That's a quick one. So let's see if we can get that TP1. Did I do the math on it right? Yeah. Yeah. Around 63 pips. Yep. All right. So that was clear cut, right? We got a shallow retracement back to a 236. It pushed down and we got a reaction out of that 80-20 zone. Right? The 80-20. Right? That's that. Any questions?
No.
No.
No, sir.
All right. So let's see if we can hit that TP1. That'd be a good move for a Friday. Pound Aussie. See, we got this one is moving, right? So it broke trend line. This one I didn't have time to post, but we're seeing it now, right? So we just broke trend line on that. Let's see if we can get a some continued upward momentum to go into that target. So you're not going to see this one in the Discord. Didn't have time to get it posted, but it's just now making this move. 80-20, right? We pushed down past the zone, but we didn't hit that D extension. Okay. So see if we can get it to continue to move up. You're in at 190.67. Oh yeah. That's a great entry. Wow. 167. So you caught it. You saw it. You're on your charts. That's good. 190.67. 67. See where you're at off the other time frames and stuff moving up. Nice. So you're looking at so 190.67. So you're looking for it to stay long. Okay. That's nice. So we got to pull back, see if we can get it to continue for you. Right? Make a nice ABCD wave and get long. Good deal. Good deal. So let's see if it wants to make a run. See if it wants to make a run. But that's the pound Aussie. It's on the other side of the trend line now. It's like, hey, it is what it is. See if we can get TP1 on that. Questions?
No.
No, sir.
All right. So I also want to take a look at, so that was it in the pounds that I had, but let's take a look at these New Zealand pairs. NZD CAD. Drop in on that one, check the progress. So we came in here, right? We tapped TP1. That's probably going to turn over, continue to move down, right? So we came in out of our 80-20 zone. We got TP1 there on the NZD CAD, right? So now let's see if it wants to, right, continue to make lower lows and lower highs. See if it wants to make one more run to the downside. Okay. So we got TP1 hit on the NZD CAD. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Keep it simple, everybody. This is the same setup across all your currency pairs and asset classes, right? That's simple. That is super simple. All right.
Benny,
Yes.
just a quick question. Why are we focusing on 80/20s now? Is it because of the instability in the market, or
No,
this is
it's because we're trying to get everybody to see one move that's consistent, so we could try to help everybody get more consistent in their trading. You know,
okay?
that's why. That's a great question. We got a lot of people that are trying to get involved with prop firms and things like that and going through evaluations. So we're just trying to get people to focus in on that one consistent move that can help them become more consistent in their trading. Because a lot of people are getting whipsawed around, with the back and forth. So sometimes it's just better to just narrow the focus, you know. Are we just as successful with long plays, right? Those C to D moves rolling with the trend? Absolutely. So if those, have been a part of your trade plan and you've been successful with them, keep doing it. Because the fact of the matter is, like for example, here with the correction, right? So what we were looking at short, okay, through 2 take profit levels on this NZ Swissy, that's somebody's low price to get long, right? And you can see how we're reacting out of that zone. So, if you're still, hey, I still trade those C to D moves, those are viable moves. Those are strong moves, right? So keep doing your thing. But when you talk about going across all time frames, right? Because you notice, right, how my charts are set up now. It's not just a weekly, monthly, a daily, a 4 and a 1. We're all the way down to the 5 minute consistently finding this move. So when you talk about, that compounding, right? That compounding effect that it can have on your income in a shorter term, right? This is a good move that happens consistently, as we've seen, since we've really become focused on it. And it's across all time frames. And you see how they move pretty fast, right? Out of that zone. You see the D moves are gonna take a while longer. They tend not to move as fast for some reason. But they're huge. But they're huge moves, right? So you take a look at a A6 pullback, 127. This is a 30-minute chart, right? And that's 66 pips if it goes to that target, that projected target. So that's all. We're just narrowing the focus, because sometimes, a lot of times, you will hear people say, just focus on one pair or focus on 2 pairs. But what if you can look at all the pairs and focus on one setup? That makes sense. Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. Right? Because you can focus on one pair, and that pair is a consolidation for a month. You know, either you're making range plays and you adjust your game, or you're just sitting there. You know, so what we've done, and with our back testing, and over time, we've been at this, man, for some years now. And we know that one move that plays out consistently is this 80-20 setup that we've discovered. It gets it's a pretty consistent reaction out of that zone. And so you can trade that, at a fairly high strike rate. And if you're especially if you're trading like a smaller account and you're trying to compound, these moves happen so frequently throughout the time frames, you can actually do that. So that's why we've been focusing on it, saying, hey, if we're gonna hang our hat on that one thing in this group, it's our 80-20 setup, so, which is something we've always talked about, just putting more of an emphasis on it now. Okay. All right. That's a great question, Jeremy. Any other questions around that? Makes a lot of sense. Okay. Yeah. Because you're gonna find a move everywhere. Commodities, indices, stocks, currency pairs. That move is there, right? So so that's that on the NZD Swiss. Let's take a look at the NZD JPY setup. Oh, I'm getting huge delays in my screen flipping over. So anyway, let's take a look at it, right? We were just talking about this yesterday on the pullback. Right? And this is what we're saying by the speed in which, it comes out of that zone. The speed in which, right? So we got that. We were talking about this yesterday, just as it was breaking trend line, and we got the pullback to that trend line, and then it continued down. So we're through 2 TP levels there. So it did not hit the stop, right? It did not hit the stop. Okay. And it turned over. And so out of that zone, just the TP1, and this is on a 15-minute chart. Right? It's 98, close to 100 pips. Our TP2 level there was to call it 130 out of that zone. So that one was right on the money. Reese, the hardest part of trading is figuring out what kind of trader you want to be. It only happens through trial and error. Yes, that's so true. And what's sad is most people quit right when they're on the brink of discovering what type of trader they want to be. Right on the other side of that wall that you've been pounding through is success. And you only had 3 more feet to go, and you quit. You quit. You turned your back on it. I was just watching a YouTube video on a guy, and he flat out, it was kind of like his testimonial video. Like, he just told a story where he failed at trading for 15 years before he got consistent. Right? Mark Minervini failed for 10 years. He didn't make money for 10 years. Wife and everything was mad at him. Didn't make money for 10 years. But like you said, that 1 year where he finally had success made up for all those other years in regards to the type of money that he made. And he's been making that money every since. So just some things to think about. Okay. So here we are on this 80-20 moving down. We're getting deep into the zone, right? Now, we've said all year, for the most part, right, long the yen. So we're coming into, you know, some pretty low levels. If you're persistent, it eventually pays off. That's true. You know, you're seeing it. That's awesome, right? That's an awesome statement. That's with a lot of things in life, you know. But the hardest thing for most people to do is to see things through to completion and to be consistent with the process, right? Consistency, I mean, inconsistency is almost like a disease, right? It just plagues people. Can't stay consistent, you know, with life, family, work, goals that they have. It is not easy. Success is not easy. It's not. It's not. But you don't want it to be easy, right? Everything worthwhile is uphill. Everything. Okay. You don't want everybody to be able to do what you do. You know, put the work in. So yeah. But we're coming to some pretty low prices here. And so you can see here on this fib moving to the downside that we have not gotten a 382 on the sub fib. So maybe we run out of gas. So maybe going into the weekend or next week, we start to see where we've got a pretty decent setup for a correction on this NZD JPY, right? So if we were to take this out and just look at this for what it is now, see that? So you can see we're through TP2. Now, just looking at this 15-minute chart, do we start to set ourselves up for the correction? Okay. And better to be patient than powerful, better to have self-control than conquer a city. Something you learned yesterday. Hey, well, that's something that I just learned today because you posted it, Jeremy. So we appreciate that. Take a screenshot of that quote. All right. It's brilliant. Thank you. All right. Thank you. And use the Discord too for this type of stuff. I'm huge. Ryan's huge. You know, Ryan's huge in the mindset and motivation. I'm huge in the mindset and motivation. Post those quotes and stuff like that in the Discord. You know, we all need it. We all need it. So this could be potentially a decent setup, right? If the market moves up, down, and sideways, this is proof positive that it moves up, down, and sideways. So another thing, just going back on what the question that Jeremy asked, is that I don't know if you all know this, but these 80-20s play out whether you have the overall direction from the top down, right or not. Does everybody get what I'm saying? Yes, no? Hope you guys have picked up on it.
Yes.
Yes, yes, right? So you still do your top down analysis, you know, because you want to know where your levels are, right? So you can get additional confluence at those key levels. But it doesn't even matter. Like my direction could be overall wrong overall with where the trend is. But in regards to the short term here and now, when this price hits the zone, you're looking for a reaction. Right. So it's just like how when me and Ryan go back, and that's one of the things we notice when we go back and we back test. It's just like, man, okay, we ran our fibs to the upside for this uptrend. Then all of a sudden the A got taken out, and then we flipped our fibs to run to the downside. And it's like, oh, there's an 80-20 to the upside, you know, and vice versa. So no matter where the market is going, as long as you deploy these fibs on your chart and you see price come into your zone, right, this 80-20 zone, there's a possibility that you're going to get a reaction there no matter what. So that's another reason why we're really driving this home and focusing in on it. Okay. So it is like, it is the play. It is the play. Right. And we've said it before, if we were to go back in time and we were learning this from scratch, what one thing would we play? It would be the 80-20. Right. So we'll see what happens when it comes into this zone. Right, if we can work that back, right? So out of this zone here, right? 80 pips or so. Your stop loss, if you put that stop loss at the D extension, be about 44. And a lot of times you come up just a little shy of a 2-to-1. But if you guys notice, right, with the math, your strike rate is higher. Right. So I don't necessarily need a 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1, 8-to-1 if my strike rate is higher. Okay. If my win percentage is higher, I don't necessarily need that. That then just becomes icing on the cake when I can get those big moves, right? So you could, even if you're trading, say at this level, okay, go over this because it's important. Say at this level, you're trading at, you got a small account, you're trading at 20 cents or 40 cents. Let's say 40 cents. You're trading at 40 cents, okay? You can split that trade up into, you know, 2 setups at 20 cents. Let one run a TP1, let the other one run a TP2, or you could just put in one order, right, at 4 micros and let it run, you know, monitor it. And as it closes in on TP1, go ahead and reduce your trade by half or 3/4 or whatever you want to do, right, by half, and say I got 20 cents left in the game. Move your stop loss to break even, okay? Move your stop loss, which was originally here, move it to break even on that second half of the trade that's still open, or move it into profit, right? Find a, you know, a high or a low or whatnot that you want to place your stop below, and then let that trade that's still remaining, see if it can get the TP2, right? So that's how you take advantage of that larger move, but you're securing the bag at the same time. Everybody follow me on that? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So either split your trade up. Now, if you're trading at 1 micro, you're trading at 1 micro. It is what it is. But eventually, your account will compound to the point where now I can trade at 2 micros, or I can take it at 4 micros, or whatever. So, you know, if I'm trading 2 micros, and you say, well, I'm not going to be around my computer all like that. Well, just put in 2 orders, okay? Will you get in on this trade? Go in at 2 orders at 10 cents. But on that first order, you're going to put the take profit at TP1, which is 89.97. You're going to use the same stop originally, right? So originally my stop is going to be here. Okay. So TP1 is 89.97, stop loss 88.71. On my second order, I'm gonna put the stop loss at 88.71, but my TP is gonna be at 90.28. So when this first trade runs, when my first order runs and hits TP1, boom, I'm out. Okay. My second order is still running at that level. Okay. My second order is still running, trying to get to TP2. Bang. But as soon, right? As soon as price reaches TP1 for both of them, one's going to be gone, profit taken. The other one's still running. Well, on that second order, move your stop to break even or move it into profit somewhere where you're comfortable, and then see if it can keep running, right? I hope that makes sense to everybody. Okay. It's a different way of looking at it, right? And managing your trade. Okay. So you can start to, because what will happen is oftentimes that trade, that second part of the trade that's running is going to help make up for those trades that you lose. We get that? Drop me a 1 in the chat if we're good on that. Right? That's going to start to cut into those trades where you're taking those losses, right? To help you compensate for that. And that's how you start to get that smoothing of your equity curve. Okay. So just some things to think about when you're playing these. Okay. All right. So that's the NZD JPY. So that was a good move for us. Now we're saying, hey, if we push down into this zone, we may get a correction. And it took me a while, right, to have the confidence in playing these setups, because for the longest time I didn't believe it, even though I was seeing it. I'm like there's no way that this is doing the same thing over and over, right? This is gonna be, I'm gonna be able to get the bag with this, right? So for the longest time, like I would see the setup and I would overthink everything. Like, well, I'm looking at these market conditions, and well, the overall trend is this or that. And well, I would come up with I would walk myself right out of taking a shot at the trade. And it's just like, am I going to lose 50 trades in a row doing this? No. Am I going to lose 33 trades in a row doing this? No. Am I going to lose 20 trades in a row doing this? That would be at 5%. Am I going to lose 20 trades in a row doing this? No. Don't take the trade when you see it. All right. Jeremy, me too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That takes some good. You guys will get you guys have the technicals down. You see it, right? The challenge comes in believing it and your psychology. That's what takes people. That's when you hear people say, like I was hearing the guy talk on a YouTube video, it after 15 years and his note taking and journaling, he was like, every time it always came back to him. Like, I'm the issue. Like, what's going on inside my head? And that's just a trader's journey. So, all right. So that's the NZD JPY. Want to take a look at this NZD USD. See what we've got going there. Go back and take a look. So we were on our 30-minute and we got TP1. So this is kind of looking like it wants to turn down for another push lower, at least for what it's looking like right now. But we shall see. I did not draw that, right? Let's see if it's going to be a correction. That actually broke. So maybe that's retesting the trend line and a continuation. We'll see about that. But the beautiful thing is, right? Yes, it broke this trend line off this 382 and it's pulling back. But I don't necessarily care about that because I've already been short. I hit TP1, right? So this is a prime example. Right? Focusing on 80-20 takes out all this other noise, right? So this has already hit TP1. So if I had two orders in here, right? First order is gone. I hit it. Congratulations. We've hit TP1. Now, I've got a second order in. Okay. It is still running. Right? See, like so. It came down to TP1 too, but now it's reversed. Right? My target is this TP2, but I'm not worried because I'm like, you know what? I've already moved my stop, right? To either break even or I've moved it down in profit. So maybe I'm above this high, or maybe I'm running it down and I'm above this high. So you know what? If this bounces, off this trend line and wants to continue long, it's okay because my stop's in profit and I still made money anyway, right? So I didn't get to move all the way to the TP2. It stopped me out. And sometimes if you're managing your stop, it'll get volatile. It'll push up and then you come back 2 days later, it's like, man, that one went to TP2. It's not an exact science. It never will be. You just live with that. But hey, you made some money, right? You didn't get all that you could have, but you were able to still make money, right? So you've been studying chapter 7 through 11 of trading in the zone for psychology. Chapter 7 through 11, right? Write that down. Trading in the Zone. That is a powerful book. Mark Douglas. It's a great read. It's a great read. We had that as one of our books of the month in the newsletters. I think it was last year at some point. It's a great read. Yep. So that's the NZD USD. Let's take a look at UCAD. Trade. Okay. So we got the swing there. Let me yeah. Yep. So we can see how that pushed up. This is the 30. I'm just going through the charts on it. It was in for a buy. Ryan, you posted this as what chart? Because it was on multiple charts that I was following it.
On the dollar CAD, so I don't think that I posted it in the.
Oh, we just went over it.
Yeah, we just went over it. It was on the 15.
On the 15. All right. Okay. So that was that one there. Took it. I got out of that one. 15. Here we go. All right. So we got that TP1 out of the zone. We did go over it. You did go over it live. Yeah. So that one nailed target. But you can see it had plenty of room. Now, if you're around your computer and things like that, you can run, that trend line through the low. You run it through the low like that. And you can tighten that stop up, if that's your thing. Okay. Your strike rate's gonna come down a bit, right? But that's okay. If you're hey, I like a greater risk to reward type of person and trader, and your psychology can handle that, getting stopped out more frequently, because it gets whipsawed oftentimes and it'll spike you out, but if your head's strong, then you're gonna get a higher risk to reward plays. You're gonna be able to trade at a higher lot size, higher lot size. And yeah, so it plays out either way, over time. But I just super busy. I need to leave that stop loss wide and just trade that zone. And you can see that if it's meant to go in a certain direction, it's gonna go in that direction. Right? Just alleviated a lot of stress for me over the years trying to keep up with the tighter stop loss. So that one got TP1. It's turning over. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. So just starting from the top, it's not really a reason. It just happened to be like that. But you can see when I mark my TPs, you see how it's just a dash. But when you see my levels, it's right. It's kind of like the whole dash dot type of thing, like this. So when you see my weekly levels, and because I was just running out of colors, to be honest. When I was coming down through the zone, you can see by the time I get down to the 15-minute time frame, marking up my support levels and resistance levels is like fuchsia pink. By the time I get to that level, you just start running out of options. So monthly in black, weekly in blue, daily in red, 1 hour in orange. And then when you get below that, like I've used on a 30, sometimes I'm using whatever that blue color is, and then fuchsia pink on the lower time frame. So yeah, but the TPs are just different. They look like that. That's how you tell the difference between a weekly level and a TP level, because they are both blue. Yep. So that's the UCAD. Take a quick look at the hold on one second, everybody, because I got one kid up, but I've got 3, and they all got to go to school. Hold on one second. All right, I'm back. Okay, so take a look at this UJ. Right. Well, look, it's bouncing around, everybody. But it's starting to look at that. We finally got that trend line to break. Isn't that something? We finally got that UJ to break that trend line. Now that's a large move. Right? I don't know if we're gonna get stuck, range bound up in here somewhere, but been hanging in there on it and it's moving in our direction right now. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that UJ. Almost got to the stop, but it didn't. And now it's coming back down. So that's where we are. If we look at the daily, right, we know that was the move of the year, 1,380 pips. And we put out, this is why all the times, right? You see where we put that stop, that TP level, which is a form of a stop, right before that extension, and you can see how it's pressing down. We're back below that 150 level. Okay. And I don't know, we got some support levels in that we need to draw in now, like that. All right, I'll put those in later. If we get further dollar weakness, that can keep on coming down a little ways. But we'll continue to watch and see, because I know in the back of my mind that technically, how far is it going to drop? Because we haven't gotten that D extension yet, and it's close to it. So that's why I'm thinking maybe is it gonna start ranging on us at some point? But we'll see. I want to take a quick look at this dollar Mexican peso pair. This is a beautiful move to see play out, where look how we got that 80-20 to hit 2 TP levels right at that 61.8. This is a prime example of how we say you make money on the way up and the way down, right? So you can see how we got an 80-20 swing for the correction, which is why we trade them. Hit TP2, which if you're trading with the trend, we all know that's a sweet spot. And you had good confluence with that trend line, right? You hit that trend line and held, and now we've got an ABCD move to the downside. Look at that. You better believe it's gonna hit extension too. So that's the dollar Mexican peso. I want to take a look at gold, and we're gonna wrap this up. It's all off of an 80-20 swing to the downside. And this is what Joy talks about, her confluence, right? With an up AB boundary and a key sweet spot, right? When she wants to make a determination of whether or not she wants to trade with that trend, that C to D move, she uses oftentimes our up AB boundary, our sweet spot zone is 61.8. Look, you got structure there, right? This is when you take a screenshot of it and you just study, because it's beautiful. Here's our 80, here's our move, right? That's an 80-20 that came down. You guys remember that on that short. We didn't get a 382. It came down out of the zone. Hit a daily resistance level, came right back down to a daily support level, 61.8. You got confluence with our sub fib at 80-20, and it's off to the races. Put your money on that one. Beautiful move. Beautiful move. My gold TP2 hit. Awesome. Ryan, anything before we wrap things up?
Bro, real quick, I know we'll cover it tomorrow, but can you take a look at the pound yen, please?
Yes.
What we're seeing with these yens is I think they're preparing for what's to
Yes.
come over the next couple months.
Yes.
And so with this one, we're looking forward to push into Actually, can you go back to the weekly, please?
Yeah.
Because this is it came just shy of the 118 level on the weekly. If you run your fib off to the law. Yeah. I got a larger fib. Hold on. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong one. My bad. Hold on. It's on the Swiss here. No, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that fib is right. What you have is right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. But 80-20 on the 4.
Okay. You got an 80-20 on the 4. I got this turning over.
Yeah, it came just shy of the D extension on my fib. Let's see. Let me get back to scroll back.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Did that push down?
You running off a large? You probably running off a larger fib from way back, or no?
No. So actually, this one I ran off of. Yeah, ran off the low October 3rd, Tuesday, that low point.
Okay. I'll rework my charts and see
Okay. Yeah,
if
yeah.
we can if I can catch it, and then we'll cover it. We'll cover it tomorrow because you probably got a larger fib running it
That
off that daily.
382 right there. No, the 382 right there. I ran it from there on that active field. Nope, over one more low to your right. To your right. To your right again. The next, keep going. The fib that's active right now, the large fib.
Yeah.
So go over to your right where the price hit the 382. That's where I ran the fib off of. And that has interesting. I'll look at it again, but that's what mine shows. Okay.
Okay.
We'll work it out. But yeah.
Yeah, overall we're starting to get corrections in those yen pairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool deal. So we'll get, because I got to clean this chart up anyway. It's been a minute because it was bouncing all over the place. So I'll get it cleaned up. But that's that, man. Anything else, Ryan, before we close out?
No, man. Great session. Great week. Good people. You see, man, consistent effort over time gives you consistent results, but you also see the growth in those results, right? At the beginning, it might be a little rocky as you get your sea legs, right? But as you make the adjustments and as you grow and as you are intentional about what you're doing, you see the progress, right? It's not about going from 0 to 1,000 in 2 days, but it's about going from 0 to 1,000,000 in a year, right? One step at a time. So keep grinding, man. Keep working. Benny, I appreciate you, man, and team, I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you as well.
Continuing to show up and continue to put your trust in us, man. We appreciate that greatly.
That's that. Everybody, enjoy your Friday. Brian, we appreciate you too, my man. Enjoy your Friday. We'll see you tomorrow, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Forex Weekly Ritual. Take care, everybody.